welcome into the music, as I am very excited to have the return of Nadia. Welcome back. Oh my God, it has been like forever and a day, more like 2 years, I want to say, and I'm always so interested in hearing what people have been up to ever since they have left the show. I'm sure you've gone on to nothing but greatness, as I have followed you on Instagram, so I've been kind of watching you from afar. I don't mean to sound any weird or anything like that, but I have been watching you on your Instagram and been seeing the progress of your life. And I got to tell you something. Has this ever happened to you where you meet somebody and then a couple years later you run into them and they're just like, so what's new? And you're just like, it's been 5 years. Where do I start? You know, to pick
so
up.
Much has happened. Like these last 2 years, I feel like they feel like 10. So it's been a lot.
Yeah.
A lot to dig into.
Yeah, I know. And I hopefully we can, uncompress that all in the show. Of course, I have to say, we just listened to your latest song that's currently out now, and that is Promise Not to Kill You. And we'll get into that in 1 second. But for more information, I'm going to have tons of show notes. So make sure to log on to entertheshell.com for more information for that. But let's get into this song. And most importantly, I want to get into the aspect in creating this song, because there is a duality from the last time I met you until this time. And a lot of it has to do with your music as well. But this song is like a little bit more sexier than Leave the Basement. I love Leave the Basement for its quirkiness and its funness. This song, I saw the video, which is absolutely cool. Thank
you.
Your video game just keep on upping the ante on that. And I love it. And I love it. 10,000 questions all at once, okay?
Okay, ready.
What compels you to keep on anteing up the stakes on a music video such as Promise Not to Kill Yourself? What and so was it the song that drove the video, or was it the video that you think helped drive home the song's message in that?
The video definitely came after the song, and I feel like every time I make a music video, I learn so much about the creative process, and I love being involved. I feel like as I've been moving along on my artist journey, I've been immersing more and more of myself into every aspect of the artistry. Like I've started getting into set design and costuming and, the details of storyline. I'm always involved in those. And I feel like even like directing certain elements. And with this video, Promise Not to Kill You, I had a killer team that came on board with the vision of the song and just like turned up the volume to 11. And I feel like just moving along and pouring more of myself into the different aspects of my artistry has allowed me to attract better team members that have synced up with my vision so cohesively that it just ups the ante, because we have a really deep artistic understanding. And that's been really cool, because I've struggled a lot. I think the reason I started doing so many different things with my artistry, because I struggled with finding people that understood what I wanted to execute. But at the same time, I found new ways to express myself in different artistic ways. So, but I'm definitely really proud of that video. So much blood, sweat, and tears went into that thing, and we did it all on a dime. Like, you wouldn't know by looking at it that it's low budget, but it was low budget. We made it work.
I know. It looks super high budget. I'm like, man, she must have really turned out some coin. All those hundreds that she used in her last music video must have really fallen on place, because like you're shooting it in. It had to be Vegas, because I saw the Rio like right across, in the music video. And I'm like, that's the Rio. Like I've been drunk there so many times.
You're like, I know all too well.
Yeah.
Yep, it was in Vegas, and what happens in Vegas did not stay in Vegas. We put it all on screen, and it was epic. It was my favorite project to date.
Let's talk about you coming to terms with who you are, and I know that sounds really abstract in a sense. And I hate to harp on this, but this video and it seems that you're coming into your own kind of womanhood in this. Was that the reason why you wanted to do this video and this shoot kind of like this?
Yeah, I feel like the video kind of encapsulates that journey that we all go through with our own duality. Like, we all have our dark side, we all have our light, and it's about kind of helping them kind of assimilate and work together to create like a very well-connected person. And I feel like since I've like figured out how to integrate those two and like make them get along better, like I've become a better performer, I've become a better sister, I've become a better friend, like, just not like being, filled with shame over the fact that I do have this, dark side or this maybe not socially acceptable side of me. And it was cool to find a way to depict that in like a cinematic way.
Yeah, with that, I noticed that I guess you've developed a new genre, or you're claiming a new genre, as it's called Brat Pop rock.
Yes.
Did you come up with that, or how did that come about?
So, in a lot of discussions with some of my collaborators, we just kind of decided that I do have a bratty side. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, because it actually is kind of a strong boss. Like, it's this bossy bad bitch that gets stuff done, is strong, doesn't let somebody being a hater or like being jealous or like stop her. Like, I think like old me 2 years ago, like before I had embraced this like element of myself, like this part of myself, I was I cared way too much about what people thought. And if my old friend from high school didn't like what I was doing, like I let it eat me up, and I let it also kind of sometimes dictate whether I posted on the internet or not, just stupid things. And now that I feel like I've kind of decided to give less fucks and just be more of a brat, if you will, like it's been helpful in a weird way. And I feel like my music is really sassy, and it has that quirkiness to it as well, that you can lean into your bratty side, and being a brat isn't always a bad thing. So
definitely not. And I've enjoyed that journey with you embracing all of that. And with that, I noticed that you've become more active on Twitter. I don't know if that's part of your brat side or not, but I've been enjoying it.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I've rediscovered Twitter, and I forgot how fun it is to be able to just say stream of consciousness things and then forget that you've even done that. You just press enter and you walk away, and I freaking love the platform. It's great. I want to do more.
Yeah, it's so weird, because me and Twitter have just a more of a business relationship, because I don't have time to tweet. I barely have time to social media, So I mainly use it just like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Here, look. And part of me feels like I'm not using it for that, for like how you mentioned, of just like walking in and doing the George Costanza, like, okay, I'm out, just on a high note, type thing. And I need to get better at that, obviously. But still, yet time is. I hate to be one of those guys that is, hindered by time. There's only 24 hours in a day, and let's face it, I'm getting 10 hours of sleep regardless. That is one thing that I am not bashing away from.
I'm jealous of those 10 hours.
Dude, but you say that now, but when you find out that I go to bed like at 7:30 or 8 o'clock just to sneak in all that extra time, it's like, why aren't you like researching? Why aren't you getting ready for another interview? I'm like, I'll do that.
You're the turtle in the shell.
Yeah.
So.
Like, I'll do that tomorrow.
It's very on brand.
Yeah. Yeah, but with that, I noticed you tweeted something fairly recent that I wanted to discuss, and that was you tweeted, "What is your favorite song lyric of all time?" And of course, you said that it could be any genre. I'll go first, and it really made me think about this. But something that kind of always goes through my mind is the song by Lionel Richie, and it's my favorite lyric, and it's a real quick throwaway. He's like, "Fiesta forever." And every now and then I find myself saying that. And to me, it just means like, let's just keep on going. Let's let the party continue. And it's somewhat of become a mantra in my life. So even though I'm not tweeting back at you, that's kind of my response, my reply back. Do you have a favorite?
That's a good one.
Thank you. Do you have a favorite lyric that you've embraced?
I asked the question, and I didn't have my answer ready for this. I feel like I'm going to have to get back to you on this. I'm going to tweet you. I'm going to @ you.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm at two things. I'm at Enter the Shell and at DJ Turtle. So go ahead and @ me at either one of those. And that's
I'll @ you at both.
Yes, and that's another thing. I have to have my own personal one that I don't use, and then I have my Enter the Shell one that I don't use. But it's like, but I have them, just in case somebody wants to buy it from me, I'm like, sure, $1 billion.
Get that internet money.
Most definitely. Lastly, it's been interesting to see the relationship that you have with Never Leave the Basement. I just saw that you did a tiny desk and you created a little tiny room in that, and then you performed Never Leave the Basement, not acoustically. I was trying to describe it. I'm like, well, acoustic is just guitar, but this was amplified, so I was like, maybe she did it amplify.
Amplify. I like that.
Yeah. So with that, I know the song has really become, at least to me, a signature song for you, and it started making me think about other bands. Predominantly, I'm a Radiohead fan, and I know for them, they never play Creep. They just hate it. For a lot of reasons, I'm sure. But what has this song become to you? Do you think that you need to do it in certain genres, in different styles, just so you could still love it? Or are you still in love with that song?
I still love that song. I feel like that song is an anthem that a lot of people can really, resonate with. It's about something that we collectively all have dealt with and go through. Like, we're in this, internet world, and we've also been very secluded through the pandemic, and there's been a lot of people who have come out of this experience that we've gone, with massive social anxiety. And I know that coming out of the pandemic, I really struggled with social anxiety. Luckily, that's gotten a lot better for me over just doing exposure therapy, like putting myself in situations and then not dying and realizing I was going to be fine. But I think it's still a banger. Like, I still get excited when I perform it, and when people here recently too, when I've done shows, people sing it back to me, the woes. They sing the woes back to me, and that's I don't think I'm ever gonna get over that. The first time it happened, I squealed and I couldn't finish singing. I was like, this is happening. But I think it's one of my first songs that I really feel like I just got to tap into that angsty, brattier side too, which felt really more authentic. And from there, I was able to write even more stuff that isn't even out yet. That is even more me, which I'm really excited about sharing. So.
Well, that's very cool. And I have to ask, you say never leave the basement, but now it looks like you're trapped in the closet. What's going on with that?
So this is my office. Welcome to my office. This is where I style all of the music videos and like the content that I make on social media. I have an obscene amount of sunglasses and belts and hats and shoes. And I used to work in fashion before I decided to do music. So like, and I'm also a really avid thrifter. So that's how this closet was born. But I decided to make my office a closet so I could better visualize and put together styles and things. And it's really fun. And it's also really good for noise dampening for vocals. I record vocals in here for demos.
yeah, I totally see that. And dude, was this a closet or was this a room that you converted into your closet? Because I am completely jealous of the closet space that you have.
It was a room, and it's been converted. My sweet, sweet boyfriend hung up all these shelves and the racks. And I feel like I deserve this shit because when we lived in LA, he and I shared 450 square feet of an apartment. Like, more like 420, yeah. And, yeah, that was rough. So I'm really happy to have this room. Our apartment was pretty much the size of this room.
Yeah. And you know, if I could just add on to that, you know, on your social media, you did talk a little bit about your boyfriend and the struggles that you guys went through. I'm so glad to hear that everything is going better. I know there's still more time in this process, but tell me a little bit about that. You know, this is true human experience when you really care about somebody and then something awful happens. But in a way, do you ever flip that and say, you know what, not that I'm glad that this happened, but, you know, maybe something happened where it made you guys a better couple or something like that?
Oh, yeah. There's been so many gifts that this experience has given. And, you know, Tyler and I left LA in 2021 to move to Atlanta just because we couldn't afford to stay in LA. And that ended up being a really great choice for the both of us. But I think we both had a hard time seeing that until after this car accident. And it's been, I mean, we had so much community come forward, especially locally here in Atlanta. And then we kind of have looked at everything and realized we might not have had the same experience had it been in LA, just because everyone's so spread out in LA. Like, not that we wouldn't have had people come to our aid, but it's harder. We had people bringing us meals and, like, you know, coming to make sure that I was remembering to eat those meals, and it was awesome. And I feel like he and I gained a lot more gratitude. We were able to remember how to slow down and get out of like survival mode mindset. And I think we've been able to be a lot more intentional with our art and our time. And also, I know for me personally, I've come out of this with just less fucks to give. I just, like, when you go through something like that, it reminds you, like, life is short. Who gives a shit if so-and-so doesn't like you? It doesn't, like, we can't make everybody happy. And I kind of renewed that, like, that thought process for me. And just all around more gratitude, more love. It's crazy.
Very cool. And wanted to know, you know, you got in contact with me. What made you remember the show? What made you want to come back and be a part of What the Music right here on EnterTheShow.com?
Well, Turtle, you're fucking awesome. You're a good vibe.
It's absolutely true.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, thank you. It was, you know, for you to get and very rarely do people ever come back and I'm like, did I do something wrong? You know, so anytime somebody does want to come back on the program, I'm really excited and I'll move things around. You know, usually the day that we're, you know, recording this, I usually is my off day and I try not to do anything, but you know, I move some stuff around just so we can have this moment in time together, and you know, was willing to accommodate you through everything, and yeah. So I guess thank you as well for thinking of me and wanting to come on the show.
Thank you, and thanks for shining light on independent artists. You know, it's hard. You know, indies, we don't have the budgets, we don't have, you know, it's always good when we get an opportunity to actually like converse about what we're doing with people who care about what we're doing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Thank you. And if you know anybody in Atlanta or people watching this, if you want to be a part of the program, just log on to entertheshell.com, hit that contact button, contact me, and we'll go from there. I do put people through a very rigorous, you know, review process, but once you're in. So, you know, just keep that in mind. But, you know, and people are like, why can't you just have me on? I'm like, well, you know, you got to be reviewed. Like, I'm not just going to put anybody on and be like, well, here's what I found today, you know? So.
Right. You got to vet the music. You got to vet the vibes.
Exactly. You know, it's weird that you say that, because I had a person that was supposed to come on a couple weeks ago, loved their music, but the vibe just wasn't there. And they were just like, you know what, I'm not going to do it. And I'm like, I don't blame you.
Right? Sometimes it's just like the wires are not crossing.
Yeah, which is odd, but, you know, that's why we go through all those. That's why I make you, not that I make you jump through hoops, but, you know, that's why I have a lot of, like, explanation, like, especially, like, the emails that I send of the things that are going to happen and stuff like that. But enough of that. Let's get back into the music. But before we leave, I always have a B-side now. And so if you want to know what we're going to talk about on the B-side, you have to listen to the podcast. It's not going to be on the video, but I have a very sensational question that I'm going to pose to Nadia. And that is, I do believe she's cheating on her boyfriend. With who? Find out only on the podcast. Okay, you got to listen to the podcast. And this is the only show with a B-side. So make sure to tune in. But
scandalous.
Very scandalous. Very scandalous. But find out, for more information, find out. NadiaVeah.com is where you could find her at. Am I still mispronouncing your name?
No, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have links to her Linktree, to her YouTubes, and a bunch of other social media. For more information, check the show notes, entertheshell.com. And from there, follow her and watch her videos and stuff. Did I miss anything, Nadia?
No, that's everything. I mean, every social media is NADIAV, excuse me, my own name spelling. NADIAVAEH.
All right.
So.
And we are going to leave you with my personal favorite song, Never Leave the Basement. But again, tune in on the podcast for a song that we're going to play too. And it's the B-side right here on What the Music.
Advertisements scroll like pavement. Maxes out like credit cards, don't pay them. Everything is fine. I love myself online. I never have to leave the basement. I eat the same thing every single week. Trying to do new shit, same old me. Coffee in a shower, sitting in my towel. Hey, always wake up in these old sheets. Thread count must be 17. Scroll for an hour, sunny but I'm doubtful. Hey, same day, different week. I'm always trying to do new things. I still dress the way I do. Comfy with the sight of nothing new.